Hey YouTube. Alright. I don't know if I can find the best angle to do this. I seem to have gotten a lot of response when I do reloading type videos. So I thought I'd try to quickly go through if you're getting started, you'll probably start out with a press like this, a single stage press. And probably Lee. Just because you can get kits for like $100–120 starter kit that'll have pretty much everything you need to get started other than the components themselves. I've already got this is my powder measure. I've already measured it, got it set what I wanted, and you'll need a scale. There again, this is a Lee scale. I've already went through that little step. So I got my powder measure already ready to go. And if you get that Lee kit, it'll come with a scale and this. It's really a good deal. Alright, we're going to just do a couple 45s. Shell holder. And to be honest, I've never even used these dies, so they are not set up at all. But this is a decapping die. That's going to be your first step. And basically, I may have to edit this, but oops, sorry. What you want to do is kind of set that die to where not quite touches, but real close to the shell holder. And you take your shell. You'll need to get some type of lubricant. This just happens to be some Unique by Hornady case lube. And you can just apply this by hand. Just put a little bit on your finger. They make little trays where you roll the case on it. I usually do that, but that was laying there, so that's what I'm gonna use. And you want to decap it and resize it. My primer, you can't see it from here, but it fell into a tray back there. Basically what that does, that took the primer out and it resizes, it reforms the case. So you could have a dent in the side of the case, and when it goes through there, it makes it uniform, round, and it'll actually pop out holes. Anyway, so what you'd normally do, or what I would normally do, is just go through have that set deep enough. But you have to kind of go through and set all this stuff, but it's real simple stuff. Setting. All it is, set the die down to where it's almost touching the shell holder at full length stroke, and then you will just run your decapper, deprimer deal, decapper what they call it, in until it knocks your primer out. And then you're good to go. All right, for your next step, you need to prime your cases. And I have a hand primer, and what in the world did I do with it? Alright, hang on, let me pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, I found it. Got so much stuff scattered around. I moved it on myself. But this is a Lee hand primer, and there are different manufacturers of them, but if I'm not mistaken, the kit I was talking about comes with this as well. Almost every press will load primers also. They usually have a little arm that kicks out and you put your primer in it. And you actually put your, let's see, how does that work? Oh yeah. You'll put your shell in here, your primer in a little pocket, and you'll actually do it on a downstroke. But anyway, this is much quicker. Pretty nifty. I like it. This is how, if I'm doing, almost all my priming is done like with one of these now, and you just put your primers in there, and before you put the top on, it's actually a orientator. You can orientate your primers where they're all facing anvil side up. In other words, the opposite side of what the firing pin will hit, and you just squeeze it. Boom, primer. and you just kind of keep it at that angle, and seat them in there. Boom. Another primer. Alright, so that's that stage. And what I would normally do is like 50 to 100 shells at a time when I'm loading with a press like this. And most loading trays that you get are 50 rounds. And it's just a tray that'll hold usually 50 cases, excuse me. This one happens to be handmade, but you can buy store-bought ones. I'm not going to dig it out, I got a bunch of junk on it, but it's two-sided and actually has two different size holes within one hole, so it'll do almost any caliber. This one just happens to be cut out that'll fit 45 ACP and some rifle cartridges and stuff. So anyway, so normally I would fill this tray up, 50 cases, prime them, keep my place, go down the line priming them. Then I would come over to my powder measure, which I've already measured out. Adjusted it. It's got a little screw on the side of it. You just adjust it in and out, and get your powder weight. I've already looked it up in the book. I know what load I want, and that's something else you'll need to. You can get all the information offline, online, free. I'm happen to be using HP 38, which is, in case you didn't know, the same powder as Winchester 231. It's the same powder. Anyway, and it's actually my favorite for hand loads, 9mm, 38, 45. That's just all around just a great powder. I just love it. So that would be, you done your decapping, resized, primed, put powder in it, and then you would go to your next die. And I think I jumped the gun on that. It's been a while since I've actually used dies like this, because for 45 9mm I got a progressive that I use, but I thought I'd break out this just to show you. Let me take that back. I skipped a step. I may have to edit that out. Sorry about hitting the camera again. This one bails the case out. I should have done it before I put powder in it. And that you want to keep adjusting this in until you get just a little. I probably could have done it with powder in it, but like I said, it's been a while since I've done it this particular way. Alright. On pistols, you use 3 dies. The second die will put, and you probably cannot see it, but I can just barely see it and barely feel it. You want to flare the case out so that the bullet will set in the case a little bit, because otherwise it'll hit the side and it'll kind of shear off lead or copper or whatever. So you want to go through, do all your cases, get that slight bevel on it, and excuse me, then you want to put powder in it. Like I said, probably could have done it with powder, but you shouldn't. Easy enough fix. There we go. Alright, that's all that does is put that little bit of flare on it so you can your bullet is set down in your case good, because otherwise it would sit right on the edge and you're liable to crimp the case or damage the bullet. And alright, for your final stage, and you can get some dies that'll put like you can have a 4-step that'll put a taper crimp if it's auto, or a factory crimp if it's a like a 38 or something like that. And so now I haven't used these, so I'm gonna step it through. I'm just kind of going by feel. All right, it's trying to crimp it already. I'm gonna run that in. This one has a factory crimp of some type in it. Alright. That was way too much. But anyway, let's try that again. Like I said, I hadn't adjusted these dies for the video yet. Alright, there we go. Yep. There we go. And like I said, that's the final step. You just set the case in there, set the bullet on it, boom, go up. And every one of them will put at least a little taper or a little roll crimp on it. And I found it's good enough for me. If you get into shooting 357 and stuff, you may want a harder crimp. But just for 45 or 9mm, that was it. I mean, I know I kind of rushed through it, but just trying to fit it all in. I'll review it and see if I need to shoot it again. But if you want to get into reloading, a lot of people keep mentioning it. I strongly suggest going wherever you want to go, midway.com, wherever, midwayusa.com. These Lee kits are, I want to say they're around 120 bucks. It really does include everything you need to have to start reloading. Like I say, and the only thing that you'll have to add from that is your components, your bullets, your primers, and your powder. And if you don't have a lot of brass built up, you can buy, this right here is used brass I bought online, some 45s. They've already been cleaned. They look like brand new, but it's used range brass or whatever. And you can find some pretty decent deals like that. It's very cost effective if you're getting into it. So that's pretty much it. And I'll do more if people want me to. And hopefully this wasn't too long. And we'll talk to you later, YouTube.